the checking. So when you bring your product, FDRC bring product, FDRC will send a product first.
Forces. This morning, the Guinean Armed Forces came heavily armed with 5 RPG. Okay. All dressed up with AK-47.
Okay.
Took up various positions.
Right.
Deployed with 3 GMG, automatic machine gun. They took various positions. We left with King. We started the engagement. Why are they planting poles? Why are they planting poles on our land? And they already asked us to take our pole. They had no right planting flag pole on our land and hosting their flag. We started to drive up. We engaged them. We talked. We spoke to TC. They couldn't stay answer us. They couldn't stay reason with us. We talked to them, said no way, speaking French, speaking so. So we were not many. Some of us cried, fell from enemy. When they were putting the pole down, planting the pole, about to host the flag, I shed tears. I walked to the custom, trying to mobilize men, and we were able to mobilize men, joined by our brothers from the various Kisi towns and other villages. When they came, we were able to overwhelm them. We told them to fight. How can my country be older than your country, then you draw demarcation with me?
Thank you.
Where were you when I was independent and you were under colonial master France?
Okay.
So this is why we engaged, we were able to uproot the flag pole. We replanted ours with the courage of the Kisi boys, the boys from Foya, joined by other kings and tribesmen from Lofa country. We were able to regain our sovereignty as a nation. So they joined by the various civilians.
I'm saying the place is closed. Is it official closed?
We close officially on our own because we are the rightful custodians of this particular place. We are the indigenous people of this place.
Okay.
It's wrong. That's not governance. Hey, they don't deserve notice. Nobody deserves notice in government to serve at his will and pleasure. The fact that some of them are not performing is keeping them, that means he is pleased with them. And that is slowing down Liberia's development. That's not governance. Honor Talbot will fire you. He will go to your office, you're not there, he will fire you. But more than that, there's something to point out. The president got on the radio and said he did not know about the Foya project. Whoever started a Foya project that he didn't know about as president should have been fired. The last thing is that people follow examples of their leaders. The president comes to work 11 o'clock, 11:30. When does he expect ministers to come to work? Because productivity depends on how long you stay at work. No, I'm not happy about that particular aspect. Fire those who are not serving the Liberian people properly. And you...
NSCC investigated a complaint from the Ministry of State regarding supplementary payroll that was observed during the period 2018 to 2023 that did not follow the CSA standing order. There were people placed on the payroll of the Ministry of State and they were being paid, but they did not follow the CSA standing order, which required that vacancies must be advertised, people must go for interview, all in an intent to give qualified Liberians the opportunity to apply for these vacancies. So our investigation established that during that period, there were other officials, senior officials of the Ministry of State who were directly responsible, who signed documents that placed these people, on the checkbook, on a payroll, who signed checks that pay salary to these people, who signed letters authorizing the placement of, in fact, we established, we're not saying that payroll planning did not happen. We established that payroll planning happened. We established that there were 731 persons placed on the payroll during the period 2018 to 2023 outside of the CSA standing order. But our investigation at this time has not established any documentary evidence. Paperwork signed by Senator McGill that links him to the payroll party. And I want to say it, this is the reason why we go to court to draw up indictment based on documentary evidence, not based on hearsay. All the documents that were presented before, I don't know how they were doing it at the ministry, probably were doing oral authorization, but there's no document that he signed that is before us. Is anybody out there in the public has a document that they want to bring to the public? Like I said, if you look at the clearance, it says here, the clearance is issued based on the findings of this investigation. It does not serve as an endorsement or guarantee anything beyond the scope of this investigation. Today tomorrow, anybody can bring additional, additional documents. We will open the investigation. We will call the senator back to come and clarify his role as per the document received by us.
Where they come to go get them up. And now, while we thinking on as a if this clear post up here, according to them, they said that anybody that wants to go here, from here, from to the border, to the crossing point, until now, to Foya. If you want to live there, you have to take, you have to take paper installation for Guinea. That's why we don't want it to be up to distance. We don't have soldiers in the river. We don't have anybody in the river that can speak on our behalf according to the way they're taking you. As you can see now, they're putting their level up. As they're putting their level up, as you can see, yes, as you can see the level up now to the different side. That's what is happening now. Yes. Yeah. All right. That's what I'm doing. As you can see, that is wrong. That is wrong. According to all the past government, it never ever happened here. The people said that the chief of staff of Nigeria went to Guinea. The internal affairs minister went to Guinea. They went to hold their meeting. Rescue mission has come to manage. I put a flag up.
Right.
We show them that we get a place here, yeah? They play on that Guinea here.
Okay. Good morning, Liberia, wherever you are and wherever you are joining us from this beautiful Wednesday morning. Welcome and let's have a wonderful time together. This is your most preferred breakfast program, the Today Show, right here on Spoon 107.5, Fabric 101.1, and the show is live on our various social media handles. We live on Spoon TV on Facebook, Super TV on Facebook, Fabric TV on Facebook, as well as Val, our YouTube channel. So you can catch us up on any of these platforms and you're going to watch and listen to the show very loud and clear. And for those of you listening, you can catch us on 107.5, 101.1, and 94.7. Yes, you can catch us up on those dials. And of course, you're going to watch the show live. Welcome. My name is Yekezi Zubin, and I hope to be joined here by my colleague Sylvester Wowi later on the show. But what do we have lined up here for you this morning? First, we'll be going to Lofa County because is where everybody's kind of talking about now. Because of the incident that's occurred recently at the Makona River, the river that divides, Guinea and Liberia, from the Lofa County side. So we speak to our correspondent there. He was there for the rest of yesterday, gathering reports, speaking to some of the citizens there about their actions, about the actions of the soldiers from the Republic of Guinea, and also interventions that have been made so far Liberian authority. And as a matter of fact, he was one of broke this news. Soldiers arresting Liberians who are gone at the Makona River to man sand for the purpose of road construction. So he has better details about that development to bring us up to speed with this morning. So we'll be joining him very shortly. But as you may know, today is Decoration Day, and Decoration Day is a national holiday of remembrance observed annually on the second Wednesday in March, and is a solemn occasion when several Liberians, gather at various cemeteries to honor deceased relatives, to honor, national heroes, to honor prominent citizens, by visiting their grave sites, by visiting, different cemeteries to clean up, to decorate, and to hold
Where they come to go, get them up. And now, while we continue on as a if this flare post up here, according to them, they said that anybody that wants to go here, from here, from to the Gola, to the crossing point, until now, to Foya. If you want to live there, you have to take, you have to take paper installation for Guinea. That's why we don't want it to be up to distance. We don't have soldiers in the river. We don't have anybody in the river that can speak on our behalf according to the way they're taking you. As you can see now, they're putting their level up. As they're putting their level up, as you can see, yes, as you can see the level up now to the different side. That's what is happening now. Yes. Yeah. All right. That's what now is doing. As you can see, that is wrong. That is wrong. According to all the past government, it never ever happened here. The people said that the chief of staff of Nigeria went to Guinea. The internal affairs minister went to Guinea. They went to hold their meeting. Rescue mission has come to manage.
I put a flag up.
Right.
We show that like we get a place here, yeah? They play on that Guinea here.
It's wrong. That's not governance. Hey, they don't deserve notice. Nobody deserves notice in government to serve at his will and pleasure. The fact that some of them are not performing is keeping them, that means he is pleased with them. And that is slowing down Liberia's development. That's not governance. Honor Talbot will fire you. He will go to your office, you're not there, he will fire you. But more than that, there's something to point out. The president got on the radio and said he did not know about the Foya project. Whoever started a Foya project that he didn't know about as president should have been fired. The last thing is that people follow examples of their leaders. The president comes to work 11 o'clock, 11:30. When does he expect ministers to come to work? Because productivity depends on how long you stay at work. No, I'm not happy about that particular aspect. Fire those who are not serving the Liberian people properly. And you...
Friends, come and people do. Record. Why you afraid for? In front of you. Record. Nobody will hold you down before your food. All the women are running away.
Today's show here on Spoon 107.5. The show is live on our various social media handles. It's 6 minutes on the flip side of 8 o'clock. At about this time, we should be speaking to Kapi Nuri. But of course, due to the power outage, we, have to, give it some minutes to speak with our Lofa County correspondent to know exactly what unfolded in Lofa County on yesterday. I know you've been seeing several videos circulating social media, from Lofa County about this issue of Guinean soldiers crossing over to Liberian territory, to plant their flag. For what reason exactly, and what were the reactions of Liberians there in Foya district, particularly at the vicinity of the Makona River. So let's see if we can speak to our correspondent. But I have with me Sylvester Wowie. I don't know why Sylvester is not yet on camera. But Sylvester, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Yakazi. Good morning to our ardent listeners this morning. And today happened to be a special day.
It is.
A day to remember and our relatives, our family members who left us here on earth. Yes, good to be here this morning.
Yes, of course. It's always good to be here. Today is National Decoration Day, like Sylvester would say, a day in remembrance, or a day that we usually observe annually on the second Wednesday in March. A solemn occasion when Liberians gather at various cemeteries or grave sites to honor their deceased relatives, national heroes and prominent citizens, right here in our country. So yes, I know at about this time, many of the cemeteries, many of the grave sites are already, crowded with librarians cleaning up, grave sites of their loved ones, friends, and relatives. We wish you all a great, great day. But just so you know, the LNP released a statement relative to today, and I want to read for you this statement verbatim from the Liberia National Police about the sale and drinking of alcoholic beverages at various cemeteries or grave sites in the country. The Liberian National Police has placed a prohibition on that. Okay, the Liberian National Police has put a hold on that. So let's quickly read you this statement. So it says the Liberian National Police informed the general public that as part of public safety measures during the celebration of Decoration Day on Wednesday, which is today, March 11, 2026, there will be no selling or consumption of alcoholic beverages within the vicinity of any grave site across the country. This measure is intended to maintain order and preserve the dignity and respect associated with the occasion. Members of the public are therefore kindly advised to comply with this directive. Additionally, the police will establish snap checkpoints at various strategic locations within the city and its environs to regulate the free flow of traffic and ensure that road users have easy access to their respective destinations. All motorists and road users are encouraged to cooperate with traffic officers who will be deployed during this period. The Liberian National Police appreciates the understanding and cooperation of the public as we work together to maintain order and safety during the Decoration Day observance. A statement released by the Liberian National Police relative to today prohibiting the sale of alcoholic beverages, prohibiting the consumption or drinking of alcohol at various, grave sites or cemeteries across the country. And it said this is meant to maintain order because, during past years, it's been observed that people, go to the grave sites, drink excessively, get intoxicated, and some of them will behave disorderly at those, grave sites. There have been occasions where there have been tensions at, some of the grave sites. So according to the Liberian National Police, in order to maintain order, those are prohibited: the sale of alcoholic beverages and the consumption of such. So if you are heading to the gravesite today, just know that you are not allowed to sell alcohol, to sell liquor, to sell, neither to consume it. You are not allowed to do that. So don't be surprised. Unlike other Decoration Days, don't be surprised today, if you drinking alcohol and police comes and arrests you and, takes you to the police station. Don't be surprised. And you don't have to argue much because, it's a policy. It's something that they prohibit for today and maybe moving forward. So now, let's quickly join Jeremiah Double, because this story from Lofa County is very important. We can't skip it. We want to get details about, developments from Lofa County just before we speak to our guest, Kapi Nuri,
from the National Archive.
The National Archive. He's already here with us. So let's see if we can quickly speak to Jeremiah Double from Lofa County. Sylvester, you've been following events from Lofa County. You on social media, you've been seeing videos circulating about, this incident. I mean, what do you make of everything so far that you have seen as we try to connect a double?
All the bit and pieces information coming from Lofa, are concerning to me because I hail from that part of the country, and it's been very concerning, especially the disinformation. Where people are on social media.
Okay, Sylvester, let me hold you there. I'm sorry. Let's hold you there because Doba is now on the line from Lofa County. Doba, good morning and welcome to the Today Show this morning. How are you and how is Lofa County?
Good morning, Yakezi. Good morning to you. Good morning, our listeners across Liberia and those who know about our Today Show. It's a pleasure to be on the show this morning from Lofa County.
Okay, so tell us specifically where in Lofa you are joining us from.
Well, currently joining you from Bonjaman after a day-long visit in Foya, specifically in Solomba. They put an entry there, and last evening around 10 to 11, I have to make my way back to Bonjaman. So currently in Bonjaman.
Okay. Now, you were in Solopa, right?
Solomba.
Oh, okay, you were in Solomba. I think Sylvester will know that name very well. Yesterday, where a lot of events occurred relative to, this whole Makona River sand mining incident. Do you want to bring us up to speed with what actually happened on yesterday in Solomba, Lofa County? Because we are seeing a whole lot of different videos circulating on social media. What really did happen there on yesterday?
So the first thing, I'm honestly grateful for the opportunity. And on yesterday, we reported yesterday that there was a meeting heard in Gegedu, where we had delegates from Liberia and joining the others in Guinea to see what they can do with this entire issue. But strictly to the issue this morning, yesterday, the Guinean soldiers managed to cross to Liberia, right there in Solomba, the port of entry. And of course, when they crossed where the Liberians normally hold the flag, it was brought down, and as well, the Guinean hosted their flag. And at the time, our security forces.
Jerry, let's get that clear. You said the Guinean soldiers crossed the Makona River, came to the Liberian territory, and planted a pole and hosted their flag.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So when they crossed to Liberia, because the advice from the Internal Affairs Minister when they had that trip was that the Guinea requested that where the flag is currently right at the river side, they should carry back the flag where it has been some 18 years ago, because the two-time former President Ellen served and the 6-year former President Weah served, they know that place to be where the Liberians can no matter hold the flag. But bringing the flag down to the river, they requested that it should go back to where it's supposed to be, and they agreed to that. And after there, the security from Liberia took the flag back to that position. So when they came, they hosted the flag right to the same place we're talking about. And when that was done, there was no.
So, Jerry, let's take it bit by bit. So
Okay.
when the Guinean soldiers hosted their flag, in Liberian territory, what's considered to be Liberian territory there, in the Makona River vicinity, who took the flag away? Who put down the Guinean flag? Is it the Guinean soldiers or Liberian nationals? Double, are you there?
I think he slipped off the line or the internet connect. I know the network connection.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's probably network, because I'm seeing he's still on the line. But let's see if we can quickly
region.
reconnect with Double here.
Yeah, why you try to do
this
so? I think, I mean, Double was trying to say when the Liberians moved their flag close to the river, the Guinean requested that they take the flag back to where it used to be some 18 years back. And following the meeting, yes, that information was passed to the Liberians around the border and the security at the border, and they took the flag back to where it used to be 18 years back. And the Guineans came and hosted their flag right where the Liberian had the flag, and they requested that it be removed. I think that's the information I got from him.
Okay, so we are trying to reconnect with him. I don't know what's going on. Let us see if we can quickly rejoin Jeremiah Dubbert to, give us more information about the incident yesterday at the Makona River in Lofa County. I don't know what is been difficult. It's probably network. Yeah. Issue. So if we don't get him, maybe we can get him later on the show. Let me try the last time. If we don't get him, then we'll have to get him later on the show because we have our guest here from the National Archives. Okay. Double is back on the line. Double, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry for the breakthrough. It's good that we are back. So, like you said, we take it step by step and make sure that we provide all of this information correctly.
For better understanding. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So, like I was saying, that the Guineans, they themselves hosted their flag to the place we're talking about, and of course, after there, the citizens around that place, the young boys, some women as well joined the other boys, and some old men too. I mean, all of them joined together to have the decision that this is not the place that the Guineans supposed to host the flag. Either way, all of them, they are aware that the boundary between Guineans and Liberia is the Makona River. But to have crossed this way, and of course, hosting your flag, trying to be a shelter, because right there at the riverside, you got just structure that sometimes when marketeers go before they cross the river, they sit there sometime and have a rest. So this structure was being destroyed by the Sing Guineans. They were trying to do a rebuilding of it so that it can be in their own, by the way, their own way, the way they want to do it. So after hosting the flag, that was the next project they had, and they are also a cement bed crossing the river to renovate that entire structure we're talking about, and that's how the citizens in that place could not see the security. And you are aware that in some of these borders, we undergo immigration, custom, LTA, for which we know their strength. Even when it comes to their capacity to withstand some of these things is lacking. So those securities were not the same when it happened. But a group of men, more than 200 young boys, have all gathered at the time and resisted strongly that they cannot be sitting and see this, because this land belonged to Liberia. The land belonged to their father. When they were born, their father told them that this is the boundary between Guinea and Liberia.
Okay.
And, as time passed, this is the historical boundary. But for Guinea to have crossed this way and having such engagement, they're not going to allow that. And this is how they continue to exist on the same. And it was a day long.
What did they do in resistance?
So they had a heated conversation with the Guinean soldier that this place, you guys cannot sleep yet. There was no tension like joining. I mean, getting on the soldiers maybe to go into fight.
We also did see video of Liberians hosting the Liberian flag and even singing the national anthem.
Yes, sir. So that happened, and after all of the heated arguments between the surveillance from Liberia and the soldier from Guinea, at the end, they surrender by bringing down the flare. I think you saw that video. Bringing down the flare, and when they brought that flare down, that was how the surveillance from
The
this
Guineans
side,
brought down their own flag, right?
they themselves brought down their flare, and they were surrounded by the boys that you guys bring the flare down. We're going to raise our flare right here. And when they did that, that's how the Liberians boys hosted the flare from that end. And they were, some of them were present while the others were already on the Kino crossing. Some of them were present when the Liberians hosted the flare, singing the national anthem. And right after, all of them surrounded on the flare pole where I met them, and they said that this flare, you can see they're going to protect this flare with all their strength, their blood, and make sure that this flare is hard protected.
Now,
What they are aware of.
Yeah. So now, in all of this, and I don't know if you speak French or you understand French, but probably there are others around there who understand French. The Guinean soldiers might have been speaking French. I mean, did they in any way react verbally? Did they say anything, as reason behind the action?
So we did not see any comment from them normally. And all of the reports, even on the Friday, on Monday, when they went there, they said they went for a dialogue with our own security. There was no formal statement coming up from them, but they were just like, sometimes they just go and they kept quiet, all of them just taking photo all around. That was how it was. The only interaction we saw with between they and Liberians, those boys that are there, we saw some of them walking, the boys from Liberia, and what the Liberian was saying.
So
some of those boys,
some of them are, I mean, they've been knowing each other. Some of them are even friends with some of the Liberians there.
Exactly. If not, maybe it was because of what transpired there. And some of them was the boys were like saying, "Thank you for your understanding. Thank you for your understanding." So just like that,
After the Guinean soldiers brought down their own flag.
Yes, when Liberian hosted their flare, that was how they were hawking some of those soldiers and telling them, say, "Thank you for your understanding." And after all of those one, the Guinean crossed to their side, and the Liberians, all of those structures they had around there, those makeshift structures, the boys from Liberia that currently at the border, they burned down all of those structures. And I asked them what the reason you decided to burn down all of these
makeshift structures in Liberian territory or in Guinean territory.
They themselves from the Liberian territory around the flare, they burned down all of those structures.
And who built those structures that were burned down?
The one may have slipped from the line.
Oh my God.
I think earlier he said those structures were built maybe by marketeers who sit on them, when they go to do their trading, and the Guineans were trying to transform them from makeshift to something guaranteed, or by bringing in cement back from across the river and what have you. But then the process was halted by Liberians in the area. After
he's back on the line. Double, welcome back.
Thank you. The network problem this morning, but we still have to go through it.
I do understand that. So you said the structures were built by Liberians, right?
By Liberians, because it is from this side, and the boys decided to bring down everything. When I asked them what the reason, they said we have to bring down all of these things because we don't want any of them to come and settle down here. Maybe in the darkness or whatever. So we want to make the entire surrounding clear, and even their sugarcane farm around there, and everything was burned because they said they don't want for these guys to come into the bush and set ambush for them. So they want to make around them clear. They themselves decided to burn down all of those things, and they were there. They said the fire going to be around here. Before they enter here, we're going to know exactly who are those coming.
Okay.
The network is bad. I think we will have to speak to Dubba later on, to give us more updates. So Double, I don't know. You just have to maybe
we
make some adjustment. Maybe go to a more suitable place where the network is effective, so that we can call you or you call us, so that we can have a flowing conversation instead of just breaking up and coming on. And you are giving us a very important information, and I'm sure our audience are very, very eager in wanting to know exactly what happened. So Double is recalling. Double, can you just make some adjustment? Go to a suitable place where the network is more effective than where you are now.
Yeah, okay, let me do that.
Yeah, please do that.
Double is calling from the capital of Lofa County.
Yeah, the
the home
capital
of
county.
the President of the Republic of Liberia,
And
Joseph
we
Yuma
got network
Boakai,
issue there.
and the network is fluctuating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
will we capital city?
No, I mean, this is now seniority. The capital city of
This
Joseph
is
Yuma
your capital
Boakai,
city, Wowie.
Joseph Yuma Boakai capital.
This is your capital. You are also from Lofa. Yeah. So
I'm turning the ownership of Lofa over to the big uncle Joseph Yuma Boakai.
all right. So yes, that's it, folks. We actually want to conclude with Jerry. Yeah, but in the meantime, let's welcome our guests from the CNDRA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I copy Nure. Nure is all right. Sorry. I want to be
This-
from the boy.
Yeah, no, before he comes on, let me just quickly say, for some better information, he a former workmate of mine, we worked together at Fabric in Cinco, 14, 15th Street between there. Once served as one of our talk show hosts, and he was very active in the newsroom, so he's not somebody strange to the microphone. So
Okay, so let's see if this is Jeremiah because he's calling on another number.
Yeah, you can call me on this number. I think we can trap this no stand number.
Okay. Let me do that quickly because the orange has been fluctuating. So let's see if we can get.
So yes, we got us at it now in our studio. So
Oh my god! I don't know. The looks like that is in Bonjaman, Lofa County, capital city. Yeah. Nero, welcome to the show. We continue with Jerry later on when he gets a better, network of coverage. But welcome, how is the CNDR?
Okay, the CNDI is doing well. I want to say thank you ever so much for affording us this opportunity to be on your network to share happenings from the National Archives to the public. So, relatively, the Center for National Documents and Records Agency is pretty well good. And that institution was established by an act in 1977 and it was published 1988. So the current leadership at the National Archives, we have two positions that I appointed positions by the President of the Republic of Liberia. The Director General is Honorable D. Nelson Bianga, and the Deputy Director General for Administration is Honorable Gabriel N. Doma. So we have a mandate at the National Archives, our mandate to acquire, to preserve, and provide access to documents in whatever format. It could be in PDF, in video format, whatever format we have it. So we also have this responsibility to establish local archives across the country. It's our responsibility to manage all of the records we have in the country. We also establish library establishment, and is under the National Archives. We also issue some other legal instruments like change of name, we do registration of change of name, code decree of sale, marriage certificate, the divorce, a letter of administration, and there are so many, over like 30, 32, 34 instruments that we are dealing with at the National Archives. So that is exactly where we are now. I
I
know
know
due
due
to
to
time,
time,
we
maybe
maybe
we
we'll
will
have
have
another
another
time
time
to
to
come
come
and
and
sit
sit
and
and
talk
talk
more.
more.
But just to bring you up to speed, the archives over the year 2025 has been doing a wonderful job, and we were able to develop our 5 year strategic plan. And in that 5 year strategic plan, we developed the plan, we launched the plan. That plan talk about the modernization of the Liberian National Archives. It talk about establishment of the Record Center, the National Library. We talk about digitalization, decentralization of CNDRA services across the country. So we were also able to attain Class A membership with the international bodies at the archive, the International Council on Archive, which is the mother body for all archival institutions in the world. So,
And
like,
what does that mean? Obtaining a Class A membership.
it's a boost to the government, and it serves as a good working relationship with other archival institutions, because when you have Class A membership, you have the opportunity to attend the ASEA Congress.
Okay.
You have the opportunity to apply for grants that are archival related, and you have the opportunity to do so many things, projects and all of that. So it's actually a good thing to have that membership, because if you have it, only members are allowed to have access to certain opportunities. Uh-huh. So we're also able to introduce our radio program inside the archives. It's also on OKFM, and we're using that platform to educate the public about the workings of the archives. Then we were able to we had like 800 users at the library, National Public Library. We're able to have 800 users for 2025. Yeah. Then we also had this opportunity with the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Foundation to sponsor one person, George Wuto, who's the COS, to attend the International Congress in Barcelona, Spain last year. He attended the Congress, and we want to say thank you to the EJS. They sponsored the entire program from Mr. Wuto to attend that event. We sent William Johnson in India for studies. He will be back by June. In the next few months, because we're in March, June he will be back, completing a master program. And then we sorted out partnership locally and internationally with other the Harvard University team and a team from Texas University to help us look for scholarship for us to go study archival science and all of that. So there were so many things we supported the Say No to Trust campaign as well. We can just say, oh, but I mean, for the year 2025, there's so many things that we did.
Okay. Yeah. So the listeners, the viewers, most of them are interested in getting to know about some of the functions of the National Archives that you just outlined, but the processes in accessing, most of those services that you provide. I think most of the listeners want to know about them. Example, like, the acquisition of marriage certificates, the process of, getting divorced, and, land deeds, and other functions of the archive. So can you just drill us through them for the sake of our listeners?
So for 2025, we launched the service delivery chapter
Okay.
as instructed or mandated by the government. The service delivery chapter has to do with your mission, your vision, the services you provide, and how long. I mean, you're supposed to, how many days, and you're supposed to use to provide the services. So, for example, we provide this within 3 working days.
Okay.
Now, let's talk about the the marriage certificate first. We issue marriage certificate. The marriage certificate, to obtain a marriage certificate at the archives, there are requirements that you need to fulfill.
Okay.
One, you have to bring 2 passport size photos with white background each. You have to bring a copy of your single certificate, the bachelor for men and the spinsterhood for women. You have to bring a medical certificate from recognized hospital in Liberia. You also have to bring either a valid ID card, voter registration ID card, travel lesson, passport, national ID card. You have to bring those documents. And the price for the marriage certificate is 150 United States dollars, or is equivalent to Liberian dollars. Now, once you come to the office, you will meet the receptionist, and then they take you to the customer service. And when you go to the customer service, they will bill you.
Okay.
They bill you. You're going to pay the money to the bank. They tell you go and pay the money to LRA. You pay the money to LRA and you pay the money to GT Bank. Now you pay $75 to LRA. You pay another $75 to GT Bank, which is $150 right there. So after the billing, they receive the deposit slip and print all your marriage certificate form. When the form is printed, they give you you fill in the form and attach all your necessary requirements and submit it. Then we give you a 3 days, two days to your wedding. We will call you and give you a book. Currently, we have introduced a print on arrival system. The director general decided that giving the certificate 2 days to the wedding wouldn't be okay. So he said, okay, let's do this print on arrival system where once you come, you apply for the marriage certificate. In 3 working days, we'll print out and we give you. When you take the marriage certificate and go and destroy it, damage it, when you come back, then you have to pay for reprint, which is $25. So right now, we're not printing and keeping. We're printing and giving out to the public. Once you come, we'll print the marriage certificate. We give you the certificate, then you can go. We're not giving it 2 days any longer.
Okay, let me come in. To obtain the marriage certificate, I know you first have to obtain other certificates. I mean, something.
Yeah, I talk about the bachelor certificate and the spinster certificate, the single certificate.
Yeah, but I mean, can you just provide the process?
Yeah, for the single certificate, it's 15 United States dollars, or equivalent to Liberian dollars. Okay. The bachelor is for men. Yeah. The spinsterhood is for women. Yes. But the general name is single status certificate, or you can call it a single certificate. That certificate is like a clearance that you are single and you are now free to marry. This is not unique to Liberia. It's practiced in most of our countries. It's practiced in Ghana, it's practiced in America, it's practiced in Germany, it's practiced in Sweden. And the people want to know because
your institution offers those certificates.
Definitely.
How do they determine that a person is actually single?
We have a system. Once you marry and we check the system, your name is not there, we know.
Okay.
Yeah, so you will not just walk over and say, oh, I want to get married.
Yeah, so we need to
check
try
the system, which I have to be clear with this. Okay. Once you've married, we have records for all marriages in Liberia. Okay. Once you go to that archive, you get married. You come back to get married, we're happy.
So
there's no if in anybody.
So you got record on me.
We have records of Mr. Bowie.
So we need to clear Yakasi.
Yeah, we have to clear Yakasi because I think it's good. It's good to get married. I think the people who say married, man, you know, it's pleasant and all of that. But it's actually good.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's practice. Usually the administration is also thinking about we want to attach expiration date to the single certificate. It's the best practice around the world. They attach expiration date 6 months, 3 months. That for the single certificate, because if we gave you the single certificate with all expiration date, you can take it, you go get married in another country, you come back, and you say you're single, you use it and get married in Liberia. So with the expiration date, it will be very useful. It will stop you from using that single certificate in other countries to get married. You have to come back. That's why overseas authorities request for it. It's not only for marriage, for school, for job. You obtain the single certificate for different reasons. So then we do learn these.
Yes.
land deeds.
Yeah, we do land deed search. Right now, land deed registration is not within our jurisdiction because in 2018 we turned that power over to the Liberia Land Authority.
Yeah.
But the aspect of land deed search from the 1950 to 2018, we are doing search for those land deeds. We can issue certified copy. When I say certified copy, it's almost like the the same copy that you had before is a copy given to you saying this is a land deed in case you lost it or it's damaged or something burned and stuff like that. So the certified copy is there. So for the land deed, you have to pay a search fee. You can't just walk to the archive and say, "Oh, I want to come search for my land deed. It lost, or I can't find it again." When you do that, you come to the archive, you pay the $25. Then we ask you for the volume and page number because all the deeds we get volume and page number and series number as well. So we track that volume and page number to go in our system to search and get the deed out. When we see a deed in the system, we get something what we give you called confirmation letter.
So you must add your volume and your page
Yeah.
number.
Have volume and page number.
So what
in the case where
for
there is
easy access or research.
but
Then
where if
sometimes
in the case is missing, but
they have something called open search we also offer.
okay.
The open search is where it's missing, you can't find it any longer. But you as a person, for example, I did the registration in July 2015, around there. You will do an estimate. Okay, so we actually you did a registration around July. Okay. Then we will check all of the deeds that were registered in July in that year. And once we check and you show of it, it was in July, we'll find it.
So why if the person can remember the
You
month?
have to borrow your instrument, right?
Yeah, because
At that time, at certain time they were not doing scheme. Digitization was not going on. So you come from 1950. At that time, there were no scanning digital system in place. 1940, 1960, 1970. So we have those documents in the book, the ledgers, we have the index and all of that. We just go to the volume in the page in the year, we enter it, we check it's there. But currently, for all those of the documents that were scanned, the lady that was scanned in our system, we just go there and we just ask you, you got a grandpa name, and we ask you for full information, you gave us it, and then we can proceed. But there's no way that you will buy a land and stuff. You will buy a land and register a deed. You can't remember even the year.
no, the person. No, that's why I'm heading.
So if you bring year, if you bring
year
year and forget the month, we will still check the entire year.
for the fee.
For $25 if you bring a year. But for example, if you can't, you say you the first year, you say 2015. We check, we can see it say 2016, gotta pay for 2016.
So you
So you're not paying for a year. So it's $25 for a year. If you want to search like 3, 4, 5 years because you can't remember the exact date, suppose maybe 2016, maybe then you gave us a longer work. And the open search goes for a longer time because there's no clue, no volume, no page number.
Okay.
So we have to take time. It will be a number 3 days because we're going to take all of the deeds that were registered in the contract in that year. We have to check and to check all the deeds in Liberia.
The fee is paid right in your office.
No,
Well,
go to the bank, you pay the money.
There's a $5
You
fee.
go to the bank, you pay the money. We're not taking any money at the office. We are promoting transparency, accountability, honesty.
Capillary.
So there's no way the archive will be doing collection of fees and via hands. No, it's not a good practice.
So you're
beyond that.
dealing with land deeds is search.
Oh, we're not doing land deed registration right now.
Okay.
But we can give you a certified copy.
A certified copy.
Yes, like I said, when it's missing and damaged, you can come for it. So then, as part of the responsibility of the archive, it's our duty to issue you certified copy of all land deeds in Liberia. Now, the Liberia Land Authority, when they do the land deed registration, they're supposed to send us copy of that deed.
Okay.
They're supposed to. Are they doing
They're
it?
not doing it. They're not doing it.
And
That is where they are duplicating the function of the National Archives. You can be the referee, you be the player, you be the captain, and everything. There should be a check and balance system. The act that established land authority took the registration of land, portion from us. In their same act, they said ACAS remains the final repository, meaning that where all the land is supposed to reside.
Yeah.
When you get it there, you bring it to the ACAS to keep it.
Have you reached out to the land
So
authority?
many times the land authority will be engaging them on this, and they are not providing any good feedback, but we're still working with them. We have to negotiate with them. If there is no other way, then we will have to use the court to do the final interpretation of that portion of the act. Because you see, it's not good for us to put the public in confused state. At one point, you go tell the people, say, go to the archive for certified copy. Another point, you go to the land authority for certified copy. It's not a good thing. Now, imagine land authority will be giving you a certified copy of a land deed for 2010. They were not in existence at that time. Why would you give certified copy for something that you didn't register, you didn't preserve, and you are not even keeping? We also have issues with the land authority because at the time we were turning jurisdiction over to them, some of their workmates or their employees, they took some of the books at the archive. I don't know how do I call it. I call it that they illegally took those books, and they are using those books to conduct search and give certified copy to people, which is wrong.
When it comes to land,
Yes, which is wrong. At that time, you are not in existence. For example, why would you give somebody a certified copy for 1990D? Let's say I just say 1990D, 2017D. So the archive should be the one giving that certificate because archives were there is currently a conflict here. Yeah, there's currently a usurpation of function. We have this conflict between the National Archives and the library.
Is this in any way responsible for the alleged duplications of these? Can you attribute?
We're not doing these now. So if people duplicating these, then the authority should be speaking to that.
Okay.
Because the archives is not doing.
Captain, is a grave allegation because if land authority was in the existence by 2010 and they are providing these for lands or properties that were
2016,
2010
below that now, it's not good. And
do they do that in collaboration with you?
No, they're not doing it in collaboration. They're just doing it on their own. It's something that we all see. This is like Europe. It's one country, it's one government. Both institutions will have to sit together to find the way forward. Where you're registered, another person right begins. There are separation of functions here. You already have in your act. Hope I can have the time. We can come back and talk about this.
Because you spark something. You spark something here. If you go to court, the judges are the court normally look at the land deed that is that was first they register, and so people at times go to backdate their deeds and what have you. So,
but we don't do backdating at the archives. So if any of these coming with backdating, then we don't know where it's coming from. We have to investigate those deeds. Currently, we're not doing deed business. The only thing we are dealing with now, we do search for landing. Those deeds are within our system. Okay. The deeds that we keep in.
We'll try to bring people here from the land authorities because they can be issuing land deeds for years and they were in their system.
We can also bring land authority and bring the archive to have a better discussion, and it's going to be.
It's not going to be a boxing ring.
Okay, let's look at your digital system a little bit.
We talk about the digital system. The archive is not fully digitized. We have.
Are you partially digitized?
We will have digitized some of our land deeds and some of our other instruments and documents, but not all of the documents that are digitized.
So you are part of the digital.
Yes, yes. So we have the DSC, Digital Scanning Center, responsible for digitalization and all of that. So we've been working with some teams. This gone Monday we had a Zoom meeting with a group from Germany. They expressed interest in digitizing land deed records that we have in our holdings at the archives.
Okay.
So we are talking to people to come and help the archives, but everything boils down to money, 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 money. So, and I can safely tell you, with the help of other media institutions, the Director General, the Deputy Director General, lobbying, I think right now we have a budget that is in the million. That wasn't the case before. So we hope that the government can see a reason to increase the budget, because right now it's in a million and it's not going to projects because most of the money go to public administration, good servicing, salaries, and all of that.
Yeah.
So we need money for projects. Now, the archive has a responsibility to establish libraries across the 50 countries. How do we do it? We need money. And I can tell you, we also need to establish local archives all around the country. In districts, in counties, you're supposed to see archives there, because the people get documents and doing things. You're supposed to preserve all those documents.
So
when there's an
from-
issue, when there's an issue, the first person they call or the first institution they can call, land related issue. They will talk about the court. The court can summon the archives. Now we were asked to help aid the investigation with this Happy Corner land issue, because there are two parties. District number 7, Emmanuel Dan represented the Dan district.
Yeah.
So you have the community dwellers saying certain portion of Happy Corner belongs to the government, and the Cooper family is claiming that this entire place belongs to us, nothing here for government. So the case went at the legislature. The legislature is currently looking at it. They asked us to help in the process. So what we did, we requested the legislature. We asked them to provide those deeds, the title deeds for us. Provide the deed, then we can check in our system and tell you exactly who get a land. Whether government get a land, we tell you the other portion for the government and the other portion for and the Cooper's family. And the Liberal Land Authority, when it comes to the dealing with boundaries issues, when they saw the deeds, they saw it, and they told them that, okay, certain portion of this place for the government.
Okay.
But how do we do it? The case got to go to court. They will summon us. We need to help the House of Representatives in doing that.
So besides land deeds and marriage certificate, what are other things you do at archive?
We got legal instruments. For example, you have a change of name. You want to change your name from Sylvester Wowie to Sylvester
Sherry, to Sylvester Sherry. Why
Sherry, okay, Sherry. And then
I changed my wife's name from Sherry to Wowie.
Yes, so when you go to the court, you do the change of name. You come to the archives, we do change of name, the registration as well. Adoption. You want to adopt a child, somebody will be a child. When we'll do adoption as well. We do letter of administration, power of attorney, court decree of sale, indenture, letter of constitutional, the bylaws and constitution. We do that. There are so many lists of those legal instruments that we are dealing with.
I thought archive was meant for keeping just records.
Well, are those things are records?
No, I mean, I thought that was just your basic function.
No, we keep records. Preservation
And you
is
also
one key function. Record management. How do you preserve them? All of the records in the country, we have to preserve them. Even documents that you have here, we have to establish even an audio archives where musicians can save their work, archive their work. You can archive your program, your edition, so that after 20 years, 30 years, people can come back and say, yes, Sylvester was on the Today Show and he presented this edition. In this edition, he said this, he said this, he said this. They use it as reference. So, but there's no money. We can establish audio archives. We're supposed to do presidential libraries, presidential archives, where the presidential archives is actually meant to keep all presidential records from Joseph Jiggy Rabata to Joseph Bagata.
When you say suppose, meaning you don't
It's
have
our
the,
mandate, but we don't have money to
don't
establish
have
that.
the fund
The money is not there.
No.
So
Yeah.
when we discuss our country, we can tell you about insufficient fundings to support archival related programs in Liberia. The money not coming. I just told you what below 1 million. Now they help us, and they carry us small. And that small they carry us is like a give and take. We have to raise 500,000. It's our contribution to the national budget this year. 500,000.
and how do you raise that money?
We raise the money from the same instruments that are talking about the marriage certificate, the legal instruments that we're dealing with. Those are means that we use, to raise money, and we are also looking out there for other revenue avenue sources. Like we have started the registration of certificate of naturalization. We have people coming in like Europe, and they naturalize themselves. They get the certificate, and they don't do the registration. So if you obtain it, you have to go to the archive and do the registration. For example, people go to the
But are
they
you
go through the
creating
divorce process.
these
No, I think
awareness
We have some
for people to get to know?
because not many people.
Yeah, we
Yes.
have we have started creating awareness. But another thing is the money aspect. We are doing awareness, but it's not to that level. Like what I'm also doing here, you are also helping over the awareness process. Like I'm on your platform, I'm talking about what we're supposed to do.
That I mean, this may not just be something.
Yes.
I think you need to.
So we need
to
we need money.
We
We need money to do awareness. Basically when I bring one jingle, yeah, you will charge me.
Yeah, definitely.
And that money, we're raising 500,000 for the government.
Because
this year.
I know one of the main source of
Eh,
revenue generation was the land deed and what have you, and that have been taken away from you.
Yeah,
now.
so it actually, how should I say, strangulated us a little bit. But the archives is moving strong. Like last year we exceeded the revenue, our revenue target. So
How
what
much
the
is it?
government gave us, they gave us something. They gave us 100,000 for revenue enhancement in the budget because the money they said we should generate, we generated that, we exceeded that. So they say, okay, because of this, take this amount.
As a
Okay.
reward.
Yeah, for revenue investment.
Okay, Nero, unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of that. I hope we can invite you here again because I also want to know about, the process of adoption. What does it take, to adopt a child, and other functions of the archives. And I believe our listeners are interested in knowing all of those. But it's been a wonderful time having you. Hope we can, invite you again in the soonest possible time, to come and talk more about, the functions of the National Archives, because it appears that a lot of people out there don't even know about some of the things that you are talking about. It's been a wonderful time, but finally, what have you got to say?
So we want to say thanks ever so much for granting us this opportunity. We hope we can come back another time to better explain some of the things, and it's actually a good one. So we are calling on the government to help the institution increase the institution budget so that we can be able to implement our archival programs across Liberia. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you very much. Kapin Niri is the Director of Communications of the National Archives. He's been here telling us more about the functions of the archives. Unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of time because we have another guest pending. We'll take a very short break. When we come back, we take on our next guest. The Today Show, my name is Yekezi Zobel, and of course, I'm here alongside Sylvester Wowie. Let's take this very short break to be back with you. Supposed to be here. I thought it told me 5 to 10 minutes.
I put a flag up.
Right.
We show them that we get a place here, yeah? They play on that Guinea here.
It's wrong. That's not governance. Hey, they don't deserve notice. Nobody deserves notice in government to serve at his will and pleasure. The fact that some of them are not performing, he's keeping them, that means he is pleased with them. And that is slowing down Liberia's development. That's not governance. Honor Talbot will fire you. He will go to your office, you're not there, he will fire you. But more than that, there's something to point out. The president got on the radio and said he did not know about the Foya project. Whoever started a Foya project that he didn't know about as president should have been fired. The last thing is that people follow examples of their leaders. The president comes to work 11 o'clock, 11:30. When does he expect ministers to come to work? Because productivity depends on how long you stay at work.
NSCC investigated a complaint from the Ministry of State regarding supplementary payroll that was observed during the period 2018 to 2023 that did not follow the CSA standing order. There were people placed on the payroll of the Ministry of State and they were being paid, but they did not follow the CSA standing order, which required that vacancies must be advertised, people must go for interview, all in an intent to give qualified Liberians the opportunity to apply for these vacancies. So our investigation established that during that period, there were other officials, senior officials of the Ministry of State who were directly responsible, who signed documents that placed these people, placed these people on a checkbook, on a payroll, who signed checks that pay salary to these people.
A pleasant welcome back. You're listening to the Today Show right here on Spoon 107.5. My name is Yekezi Zobel, and of course, I'm here alongside Sylvester Wowie. It's 9 minutes on the flip side of 9 o'clock, and we have in our studio William Yasia. Mr. Yasia is an activist who recently wrote an open letter to the President of the Republic of Liberia calling for the removal of Apostle Aaron Wright, the acting executive director at the National Commission, the National Commission on Disabilities. Upon the suspension of Samuel Ding and Winifred Pay, executive director and deputy executive director of the commission, President Weah immediately appointed Apostle Aaron Wright as acting as acting executive director, and Emery Jesse as deputy director until investigation and audit are conducted by the GSA. So he's here to tell us why he wrote that letter to the president. Why must the acting executive director appointed by President Joseph Yumabwaka be removed? William, welcome to the show.
We want to say thank you very much for the opportunity, this morning, to be able to highlight some issues that are affecting us as persons with disabilities in the Republic of Liberia. So we want to say thank you for giving us this opportunity so that the voice of the voiceless can be heard.
Who is William Yasia?
Well, B. William M. Yasia is the executive director of the National Association of Disabled Advocates and also an activist of persons with disabilities, someone who have advocated for persons with disability for more than 20 years now. All right. And so we are in the vineyard of making sure that issues that affect persons with disabilities are carefully, and cleverly assessed and addressed.
Okay. Now let's go straight into it because we didn't have the luxury of time. Now, you recently wrote an open letter to President Joseph Yumabwaka calling for the removal of Apostle Aaron Wright as acting executive director at the National Commission on Disabilities. Tell us the basis of the letter, the rationale behind that letter.
All right, thank you very much. So I wrote the president based on the fact that there was some confusion in the community of persons with disabilities around November, December of last year, where series of protests were being held at the executive mansion and other places, even at the complex here, ministerial complex. There was series of protests that went on against Samuel Dean and Winifred Pay as a result of corruption allegation. And immediately after that, the president came to intervened, which we appreciate highly, wherein he suspended Winifred Pay and that of Director Samuel Dean from the commission and replaced them by acting director and deputy director Apostle Amos Wright, Aaron's Wright, and that of Emery Jesse, which of course we employed. But looking at the fact that these people has been removed and then subsequently being replaced by other brothers of ours, we were looking up to the president for the issue of the audit. So I waited from November, December, January, February, nothing was being heard. So as a result of that, I wrote an open letter to the president reminding him that we wanted him to fast track the issue of the auditing at the commission, so that if Comrade Sam Dean is guilty, all right, he should be dismissed, all right? And if he is not guilty, then he'll be reinstated. That was the basis of writing the letter. So as we speak, I got information after 2 weeks of my letter, because the letter was submitted on the 16th of February. So after that, I got information that the auditing have started at the commission, which I applaud highly. But there was something that I brought to the attention of the president. That is Article 1 of the Act creating the Commission on Disabilities. And Article 1 of the Commission of the Act creating the Commission on Disabilities states that the director, the deputy director, and other corps of officers who serve at the commission should be persons with disabilities or a specialist in the field of disabilities, of which
so that's two things that article says, according to you.
Yes.
Number one, a person serving in executive positions, must be qualified disabled persons.
Yes.
Or specialists in the field of disabilities.
Yes.
Two things. So you are saying that Apostle Aaron Wright doesn't fit in either of those categories.
That is what I'm saying. That is clearly what I'm saying. So because of that, I came up to remind the president that Apostle Amos Wright, is not a disabled person, and he is not a specialist in the field of disabilities. So as a result,
but does the act define what disability is?
As persons with disability, I must say I'm a person with disabilities.
You are.
Yes. So I'm visually impaired. All right. So I know what disability is, and the issue that has to do with the act. When we are referring to people with disabilities, we clearly know, because my institution, the National Association of Disabled Advocates, in collaboration with the AYWD, and that is the African Youth with Disability Network Liberia chapter, were even trying to amend the act, and it was passed in the lower house and went up to the Senate, and unfortunately for us, it was not passed at the time. So when it comes to the definition of persons with disability and those who are specialists in the field of disabilities, we know it very well, and the act knows it very well. We are aware, because this act was written by persons with disability themselves. It was not something that was drafted by people, and then bring it to persons with disabilities. So we ourselves were part, of the writing of this act that brought in the commission into being, So we know who a disabled person is, and those who are specialists in the field of disability. It's based on that, knowing the knowledge, getting the knowledge of that. That is the reason why I was reminding the president that Apostle Amos Wright is not a disabled person, and he's not, someone who is a specialist in the field of disabilities. So he should be reminded of that. So as when the issue of auditing and other things are done, they should not think about keeping him at the commission, because that would be minus to persons with disability. You have thousands of qualified persons with disability that are supposed to serve, even in the Joseph Jiman Boakai government, of which we have not had the opportunity to serve, except for.
So I've been trying to do a research to know if the act clearly defines what disability is. Yes, we all do know the general definition of disability. I don't know whether it is that exact definition that is included in the act. But from what I'm seeing here, the act does not, itself include a clear or formal legal definition of disability, but the general definition of disabilities are persons with physical, mental, intellectual, or sensory conditions that make it harder for that person to perform certain everyday activities compared to most people.
Sure.
For example, a disability may affect how a person moves. Disability may affect how a person sees. Disability may affect how a person hears, how a person speaks, learns, thinks, communicates, or interacts with other people. So you got physical disabilities, sensory disabilities, intellectual disabilities, developmental disabilities, mental or psychosocial disabilities, and all of that. So with all of this, how did you figure out that Apostle Aaron, right? I mean, is not a disabled person, because there's physical disability, there's psychosocial or mental disability, like I just read. There's intellectual disability, and all of that. So how did you know that he's not a disabled person?
All right. So how I came to know that he is not of any of those categories? He himself, at the first meeting at the National Union of Organization, stated it clearly to us that he is not a disabled person. He has now worked with people with disabilities, and he has come to work with us, to be able to meet with, that is the president of the Union of Organization.
That is what he said. He said he's not a disabled person.
Sure.
And he has not worked. He's not a disabled specialist.
Not at all. He stated it, in a meeting where when he went at the National Union Organization on bypass, when he took over, that was an acquaintance meeting that he called for. And in that meeting, we were meeting with him to know, we actually went to that meeting to just so that we can listen to him, so that we can acquaint ourselves with him. All right. So in that acquaintance meeting,
it was that time that he said,
yes,
he's not a disabled person.
He's not.
Hasn't worked with any disabled organization.
Yes. And how he had worked with UN, he had worked with civil society organizations and others, right? And I was seated right there. So looking at that, I know that the act speaks something about that. So that brought me to the attention so that we can be able to address that. Now, looking at us, people with disabilities, if you look at the act creating the Commission on Disabilities, it talks about the government of Liberia, every 100 employees, at least 4 of those employees should be persons with disability, whether in the private sector, whether in the government, and whether in governmental sector.
Okay.
We should have that number of persons. Now, it is also it was also stated, by previous leadership, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, when she stated in one of her cabinet retreats at the Baptist Seminary, where she said at the time Mr. Barker was vice president, right? She stated that all of the government ministry agencies and whatsoever should at least employ 2 qualified disabled person in those in the ministries and agency. Until now, as we speak, not one. I stand to be corrected. I did not see any of our colleagues being appointed. So looking at the fact that those things are happening, people are qualified. You can tell us that we will go to school with you guys who can see, who are able-bodied. We go to school with you academically, we perform, we come back. At the end of the day, none of us can be employed into government. All right. If you check in this government as we speak, except for Comrade Zau Noah Gibson, who was appointed in his government. Now, looking at the fact that Zau was appointed, it was not on the basis,
it was not because he's a disabled person.
Fine.
But it's because of his, affiliation with
the Unity Party. And that was why he was appointed. All right. So we are calling for an inclusive employment for persons with disability. Those that are qualified, that they should be able to be employed into government. And if people who are living with disabilities supposed to be employed into government and are not employed, then you are taking able-bodied person again and bringing them and removing people with disability from the commission and putting able-bodied person there. Then you are minusing from the few people who are qualified that are employed into government. You are also minusing from that, and then thereby causing.
So you are saying here that the President of the Republic of Liberia violated the National Commission on Disabilities Act.
Yes,
that's what you are saying, that the president violated the act by appointing an able-bodied person, to serve as a executive director, at the Commission on Disabilities.
Yes.
So now the question comes: the institution has a board, right? And I believe before the president makes these appointments, the president, consults with the board, coordinate with the board, to give him some information, or maybe even make some recommendations before these appointments are done. Have you been able to also engage with the board to know whether they, form part of the president appointment, whether they gave any recommendation or input?
And that is one of the disabilities of this issue that we are addressing. Currently, when the Domape was heads of the commission, she tried to, bring into being, because the board was organized, and later, it was I don't know what word to use. Dissolved, yeah. In another time, the government decided to bring people on board, and then people were waiting, all right, for them to serve at the commission, on the board of the commission. But currently, as we speak, I stand to be corrected. We have no active board currently, and that was one of my calls to the president, concerning the installation of board members, where issues arises from the commission, and we can be able to get it to the board so that the board can address it before getting out of the commission. Now, looking at even the Liberian National Lottery, similar thing happened. we're supposed to be, the persons with disabilities supposed to serve on the board of the of the Liberian National Lottery. People with disabilities supposed to serve in the director or deputy director position of the Liberian National Lottery. But because of this same thing now that is creeping in the commission, it made us to lose, those positions. Right now, you will have, if you check the board of the Liberian National Lottery, you have no disabled person that is serving there, because why? They change.
So does the act also call for disabled people to be on a commission's board?
Yes, it also call for the
all members. It says all members of the board must be disabled people.
No.
Okay,
but the for the commission, they should have they should have agency. I mean, like the if you look at the composition of the board members, they're supposed to come from the government, like the finance ministry, commerce, and other places.
Okay.
They're supposed to serve on the board of the National Commission on Disability, along with the director serving as a secretary to the board. All right. So now, looking at all of that, when the board is not active, it serves as an impediment for persons with disabilities. So, looking at the fact that the act stated something like that, if we just sit down and allow ourselves and mute ourselves and allow it to go, they might change the act, like you were saying.
Okay.
They might change the act, and say anybody can serve as director at the commission. So those are things that we don't want it to happen.
Okay. So now, what are you going to do next? Because you've written an open letter,
Yeah.
To the president. I don't know if the president has read that letter or if some of his officials have read or seen that letter. But besides the writing of the open letter to the president, have you been able to maybe engage with relevant authority to ensure that your concern is heard? And if so, what have those authorities said, or what have been their responses?
All right, thank you very much. We were able to make a follow-up, because if you write those kind of letters, it is good to make a follow-up. So when I got the information that the thing have started at the commission, that made me very glad. So I knew now that maybe after that they will have to bring in the judgment. What are those guys that were allegedly accused of being corrupt, whether they were corrupt or not? So I went to make a follow-up, and I got an information from the executive mansion that the president received the letter and sent it to the legal department. They were going to get back to me. But looking at the fact that this
Have they got it back to you?
No.
Okay.
Looking,
So now, moving forward,
yeah.
If they don't get back to you, what is going to be your next course of action?
All right. What I'm doing now is calling on heads of disabled people organizations, because it is us that will be affected. So I call immediately. I call heads of disabled people organization, that is DPO, persons with organization of persons with disabilities, heads, and other coordinators. We met, to discuss, these issues, because one of the things that is getting us afraid is this. Now, currently, the Apostle Amos Wright, Aaron Wright is an acting. He is acting. So some of our colleagues call us and say he is acting. You let's wait. Let us wait until maybe after the investigation. Then let us see whether he will remain, or whether the president will change him, or they will not change him. But looking at the fact that he is acting and taking decision and doing things that somebody who is acting not supposed to do, clearly tell us that if we are not careful, he is now even planning to leave. All right. So looking at the fact that right now they are doing a county tour, right? They are doing a county tour to the 14 counties. He has taken people along with him in the counties. I stand to be corrected. Among those that were taken in the various county, you are taking a county tour for persons with disability. Only two persons with disability, one visually impaired and one hearing impaired persons that were taken on the county tour. That is a sign.
What is your next course of action?
My next course of action is to call all my colleagues who are persons with disability from heads of organizations, okay, for us to rally around in ensuring that we remind President Joseph Boakai to do the needful, to allow Mr.
Are you thinking about protesting, for example?
That for me, that can be my last.
Your last option.
Yeah, my last option when it comes to addressing issue. Okay. All right,
if the president doesn't act,
yes,
now,
then
and all engagements are done, all dialogues are done,
and nothing, then maybe we can resolve into that.
Okay, thank you very much. We don't have time anymore. Finally, what have you got to say?
So finally, I would like to call on the president to have him reminded that we persons with disability, we have thousands of us that qualify and that need jobs. And that is why they are always saying people with disability are always on the street, Look, giving all handouts cannot solve our problem. What we want is employment. Right. Teach the man how to fish and not giving him fish. So we are calling on him to look at these things that we are saying that Apostle Amos Wright should be recalled, and let him give chance to persons with disability who are qualified to serve in these places, because he had taken people who are able-bodied and make them consultants to him, which of course we are not in favor of. So we want to say thank you for giving us the opportunity, at this time to speak on these issues.
Thank you very much, B. William Yasia, the disabled activist, then here telling us about, his recent open letter written to the president calling for the removal of the acting executive director of the, Commission on Persons with Disabilities, to be removed. It's been a wonderful conversation. Thanks for coming. Next up, we will play host to the commissioner of Congoton. He's already here with us in our studio. Let's take this very quick break. To be right back with us.
Where they come to go get them up. And now, while we continue on as a if this airport up here, according to them, they said that anybody that wants to go here, from here, from to the Gola, to the crossing point, until now, to Foya. If you want to live there, you have to take Guinea Africa, you have to take paper installation for Guinea. That's why we don't want it to be up to distance. We don't have soldiers in the river. We don't have anybody in the river that can speak on our behalf according to the way they're taking you. As you can see now, they're putting their level up.
Okay, the pleasant welcome back. This is the Today Show right here on Spoon 107.5. We're live on Fabric 101.1, and there are our various social media handles. We're live on Spoon TV, we're live on Fabric TV, as well as Super TV and Valor YouTube channel. So you can catch us up on any of these platforms to watch the show live this morning. Now, we have in our studio the commissioner for where we are situated, Commissioner Edward Laha. And Commissioner, again, would like to apologize to you for the timing. Like I said, we had some technical issues here earlier, that got our lineup to be the way it is currently. But want to apologize to you for that, and thank you for the patience waiting all along. It's a pleasure having you on the show this morning. I think this should be your debut appearance on Spoon, right?
Yeah. No, not on Spoon, but on the Today Show.
On the Today Show. That is, you have been on Spoon, you've been on other programs here on Spoon.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So, welcome. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing pretty well, and I want to say thank you very much for the invite. It's a great pleasure being here. And I look forward to an intriguing conversation in a lot of several areas, in relation to our township, like area, and whatever issue we can tackle. And I also want to use this occasion to say, a happy decoration to all residents of Convertown and like here at large. Let us use this day to memorialize our fallen, families, friends, loved ones, and we should keep it very peaceful and go through the day without any other disturbance. It's a great pleasure being here.
Okay, I'm interested because sometimes I want to tell people. I want to send compliments of a holiday, especially a day like this, like Decoration Day, to say happy Decoration. Like for example, a friend of mine. I told a friend of mine happy Decoration Day. We said, "I'm Decoration Day, so happy day." So when you say happy Decoration Day, it made me wonder.
Basically, except for brief instances where people will move shortly, but the day in its entirety is a company with celebration. I just saw a post from the Spoon page where I saw people entertaining themselves. They are in some joy mood. You memorialize, your fallen friends, your family, but at the end of the day, you celebrate that you have life.
Yeah, that's
and I think in the general and the large scale, a lot of people even celebrate more than the moon on these decoration days.
And I do agree with you that's a fact. That there are a lot of celebrations. After people go to the various cemeteries, various grave sites after the moon. In fact, celebrations can go out the grave sites in most cases. But welcome. How is the How is your office as commissioner?
Yeah, my office is doing very good. The office we occupy, it have to do with being intentional about certain things, and you have to make sure that you think outside the box. You got to continuously innovate. You have to build partnership. You have to build relationship with people. And because that's the only way you can be able to make some impact in the local government sector of our country. This is a very tight space that we are in. There are a lot of challenges. But if you dwell on the challenges a lot, you will not be able to achieve in a certain way. So we have been able to see those challenges. We have been able to identify some solution for some of them. And over time, we are gradually moving into finding some solution for those problems in collaboration with a lot of our friends, partners, and all of government ministries and agencies. And because the true essence of the decentralization is for the government to come very close to the people. And in that, we have to make sure that service delivery at the local level is increased at all times. And that's what we are working on gradually.
Okay, so before we go into the main discussion, let's get to know a little bit about your journey to becoming commissioner of Hong Kong town. I mean, what motivated you to serve in this leadership role? How long you've been serving, and what are some of the roles and responsibilities of a commissioner?
These presidential appointments, sometimes comes with a lot of engagement, negotiations. But in some instances, there are people who see your value and they believe that you can deliver a certain space, and they try to do their best to push you in those spaces. And we have a very close political ally, the representative of District Number 5, Madam President Ibrahim Cooper. We have a very solid relationship politically and family wise. We are very, close and coordinating in all aspects. And during the period of the nomination process, it came to me as a surprise when I was nominated on March 25th, as the commissioner of the township of Congo Town. And that nomination,
you are as a surprise.
It came to me.
Why were you informed?
No, I wasn't. Yeah, because I was asked on several occasions, and the conversation was not completed. There was not a definite space that I pointed out to occupying. But at the end of the day, this came. On the 25th of March, this announcement came. It was like a surprise to me. I was very shocked. I started to receive multiple telephone calls, and at the point in time, I was already on my way to sleep now. I was in my rest mood, but by the multiple calls I started to receive, I started to transition from sleep mood to wake mood. And basically, there was this feeling of responsibility, gradually sinking into my human self, and I started to put myself in a position where I would start to prepare for that responsibility. And based on that, I started to engage gradually with some of the stakeholders and the actors, people who have occupied this position before, like previous commissioners before me, and some other staffs who have worked at the township office, trying to engage them to have a broader understanding of this responsibility that I will be taking on, possibly a few weeks or few months from the time I was appointed. And it was a very challenging period for me because the confirmation period took a little close to 4 months.
Okay.
It was a tough thing because these jobs are political jobs. Sometimes there are tense political resistance. There are, other people who feel that, this is where I'm supposed to be, and they will engage, also to get that. But at the end of the day, we were confirmed and we took on the responsibility to serve as commissioner on the 11th of July in 2024. And since that day, we have been doing our best to bring some transformation to the local government sector of our country. And when we got here, there was not much information about who the commissioner is, what is his role, and what he's supposed to be doing, and all of that. So one of the lapses that we saw was that the general mentality of a lot of the Liberians was that commissioners are people who supposed to just be into land dealings, or they should be handling cases from the community, but there was something far beyond that, because the Local Government Act of 2018 makes the responsibility of the commissioner even broader.
Okay.
2.1 of that act clearly states that the commissioner is the overall, administrator of the local jurisdiction. So as the commissioner, you are there to make sure that the government, is represented fully in all aspects. All sectors should be felt in the community. So when there are fire disasters, when there are issues of education, when there are issues of health, you are the first respondent for all government ministries and agencies as the commissioner of a local area. So based on that, we noticed that there was not much information about the office, so we started to do some community engagement, providing information about the office and some of the functions of the commissioner and the role of the citizens in making sure that the government work in their own interest. Because you see, the thing about government is that, many a times they say government is for the people, by the people, and of the people. But when the time comes for the implementation of government programs and policies, in most instances, the people either try to exclude themselves or those in authority try to exclude the people. That is a disservice to them. The people are supposed to be part of the functioning of the government. Okay. So, and that is why the decentralization brought, these local areas like the township, the cities, and the boroughs, so that together citizens can tackle key problems in their various local community and be able to solve them. Okay. So based on that, we have seen a lot of improvement. There is this great awareness about the commissioner office, and it's moving very fine, and gradually we are transitioning now to a more functioning local government sector, better than before.
Okay, since we're talking about the office of the commissioner, let me bring this in from some residents of Congo Town. I've heard some residents of Congo Town raise concerns that the township administration office, it doesn't adequately represent it doesn't adequately represent the people of Congo Town. Some have even described the commissioner's office as a makeshift structure that does not reflect strong local governance.
What
do you say about that?
Yeah, I think
I know it's an office that you inherited, right?
No. Even if I inherited the office, I also share into the responsibility.
Sure.
It is not always good when you take over your office and you just put all the problem on your predecessor. You dare too.
Okay.
And I spent almost 2 years in our office, right? But what I can say to those people is that you have to go back to that office. Possibly you have not been there for a very long time. There are some changes that you have not seen, because if you go there and you enter the building and you walk around the building, you will see some transformation. You understand? When I took over that office, a lot of people who engaged me, they always used to say to me, but commissioner, we always thought they played our police station. You understand? But now you go to that office, you can see it like a police station.
What are some of the transformation? Because I usually pass there and all I see is, the area was painted. From the outside, I saw change of color.
To have a functional office,
yeah.
Number one is that you have to create the conducive working environment for the staff. Number one. So when I took over that office, there was not a single computer. The offices were in disarray. The building, out of the ceilings, the zincs, and everything was, closely falling to the ground. There was a big crack on the building. The building was almost falling. We were able to bring back all of those things, transform it, change the ceiling, change the setup of the building, and we're able to bring in computers. Almost all of the departments in the township have computers. The youth office.
What wasn't there a commissioner that your predecessor? You think?
Yeah, my predecessor was there, but you don't know the constraint he had at the time. For which he could not be able to tackle certain things. We all don't have the same leadership ability, or sometimes the ability to reach out, to be able to engage. We don't have the same connection. We don't have the same lobbyistic power. So as the commissioner of the township of Congo Town, I can understand very clearly that this office is a very constraining office where you don't have the technical, logistical support to be able to help you to execute your function. You don't have budgetary allocation from the government. You don't, your own source revenue are not easily collected because citizens are not aware. And also, you can blame the citizens 100%. They are not aware of their responsibility to the local government because they are not also feeling the impact of the local government. Because for people to feel obligated to you, for which they will want to pay their taxes, to be able to be responsible to the local community, they have to feel the impact of that local community. You have to start intervening and solving some of the problems that they are faced with. So these are issues that we are trying to tackle. And so to tackle those issues, it will have to be gradual. It can be on a fast pace. It have to be moving slowly, taking your time, but consciously too. You have to make sure that you tackle the key issues. First of all, as I said to you, first of all, we wanted the office to be functional, so we're able to transform the capacity of the office, bring in technology to be able to enhance our workings. Also, we're able to improve on manpower because we're limited on manpower. We took manpower from 3% now to 100%. Okay, now the office spaces we have, it was less than 3 rooms, but now we have created 2, 4, 6 spaces, right? So there are 6 offices currently. You understand? So there are some improvement on the building. That is not the
6 offices. Is it? I mean, just one office.
We created several departments. The sanitation department, technical department, the township parking department.
You're talking about one building with several office space.
Yes. So you create all these different departments so that the office can be functional, because service delivery have to be very, it has to be one of the most.
Do you have any plan of constructing a new office space rather than the one you have over there?
We have engaged in Labrador Land Authority on the public land space that we identify. We have done some, vetting on that property. They also,
and where is it?
They also did it's not too far from the military complex. We also did the survey of the property and everything. So we want to go through the legal process to be able to have the legitimacy to move onto that property. Not because we are a government institution and then we just see public land or government, we just go rush on and move. We have to go through the process to have some level of legitimate entitlement to that property before we move there. Now, the office of the township commissioner, was in a rented building for years. Before the commissioner John Mark Russell came in 2006, and then it was work around making sure that we have that small space so that the office can be there, so that commissioners coming and going will not be worried about the issue of rent, right? Or when we got there, we made some improvement on our office, but the clear vision is that, and the citizens are right, and that is why we call the citizens to support that office. You understand? Because these local offices supposed to represent, a clear solution house for the local area, so that that's why you see quite recently we were able to build a fire station there. There is a fire truck park station right there, so to be able to respond to fire disasters around the township. Okay, so these basic social services need to be close to the people. And that's the reason why we are doing our best in whatever way possible, even though the space is not very big, but we will continue to engage partners, friends, and the stakeholders to make sure that some services that the people need will be very close to them.
And that's exactly what I'm heading for. I mean, I saw a fire truck pack right there in that little space. You talk about leadership styles and logistic power. How people are wondering how the township of Congotown acquired a fire truck when you have a city like a county like one county, Banga for Eastern, the city capital city, got no fire truck, but you got a township like Congotown owning a fire truck.
Yeah, and I think I sympathize with the people of Bon County, and I think that the issue of fire trucks should not be one of the challenges for any county. We should have fire trucks in all of the counties. It's needed there. So it's not an excuse. We should not use whatever situation to say, in Congo Town. It should be all over, right? And now we just looking at Bon County because there was a recent fire incident in Bon County, right? But it should not just be about Bon County. There should be fire trucks in all parts of the country, townships, cities. When you subdivide the country, you have to make sure that all of the local structures are functional to be able to respond to some of the situations in their local area.
We look at your logistic power now.
So the fire truck came from the national government. Okay, so the Labrador National Fire Service gave us that fire truck after the fire station was constructed, right? Now, what we continue to push for is that all of the local structures in this country should not be short of things in the fire truck. They should not be short of, water supply. They should not be short of electricity. So it's not only about fire truck. There are several things that this local community needs, and we need to make sure that we provide to them. What about access to the community? Creating rules. I'm not talking about areas that we have already built and clustered out. We need to do land readjustment. We have not reached that point, right? Or some of the places that we have not done a lot of construction. Why are we not using this time to create access for road? Because one of the issues why normally even in Montserrat, where there are all the fire trucks, when we have fire disaster, we are not able to control the fire is because there is not access to the community. Most of the communities are clustered. Okay. We need to readjust our community. So most of the basic social services that our people need should not be politicized. It should not be, it should not be by priority of a county or a city or a township. No. It should be something that should go all over.
People see this function as, responsibility for the lawmakers, their representative.
The lawmakers have a role to play. Because based on the policy that they will create at the legislature, those policies will intentionally be trickled down, through central government and all the local government structures. So they have a role to play, right? But also, let me tell you, once we continue to run the government and try to make it to look like either the legislature should be green, or when the legislature is not supposed to be green, then the executive is supposed to be green, then that government will run it. Okay. Because the service class that we all attend, they say the government is made of 3 branches, right? And they name these 3 branches. So the responsibility of that 3 branches is to make sure that these things happen appropriately. So it should not be a shifting of blame from one branch to the other. All branches will be blame when anything go wrong.
Yeah, we're looking at your strength. Was the lawmaker? I was going to be corrected. Your office for Honor District 5. How many?
Yeah, we have 4 districts. We have 5, 6, 9, 10.
Were the lawmakers in any way involved with
District
the
number 5
application?
lawmaker was massively involved. In fact, she sponsored the construction of the fire service station.
Okay. Thank you for the clarity.
So that's why we continue to protect, right? Collaboration will give us more results than trying to divide the government and say they want the executive will bring, and the other one will bring the legislature, and the other one will bring the judicial. No, government are one.
So how's your relationship with your colleagues from the legislature in government?
Yeah, we have a very good relationship with all of the lawmakers that follow the our jurisdiction. And that is our responsibility, because all of us have one goal, is to make sure that we provide what the people need.
Okay, so the issue of representation is closely linked with community trust. And one area where trust often is tested has to do with land disputes. Land disputes have long been a major issue in Congo, not just Congo, but in Liberia as a whole. So what are some of the most controversial or difficult disputes so far that you have faced, that your office has received and been able to resolve? But before answering that question, since we're talking about land, can you tell us, for the sake of the audience, I think it's going to be an education you will provide, where does Congo Town begin and end?
All right, so Congo Town starts from the car wash after SD Kobo Junction.
Okay, car wash after
SD Kobo Junction. And it goes towards Amuma, FP, Roto Town, all those places fall within the jurisdiction of Congo Town. So that's Congo Town jurisdiction right there.
Okay.
So Congo Town got 44 communities. We have now 1,613 people, okay, according to the latest census. Okay, so Congo Town is a very big place. Yeah, the issue of land dispute is not only unique to Liberia. And thanks to the mayor of Monrovia for organizing the first executive training for local government officials in Liberia, and that training is facilitated by the University of Victoria and the Lincoln Institute, also from the United States. It's a full-day training. We'll continue tomorrow and on Friday. Now, research-based information from that training shows that
all African cities are faced with the same problem when it comes to land, when it comes to waste collection. We have the same problem, but others have been able to do, better in making sure that they curtail theirs in a certain way and protect their country to look better, on the outside. That's why we have a little bit of deficiency. A lot of the times you see majority of the Liberians, they're talking about Liberia, and it don't sound well to somebody who have not been to Liberia before to try to come to Liberia. But Liberia is not the worst country in the world. No. Now, land dispute is a serious issue that we have. We cannot dispel that.
How often do you receive land dispute?
I receive cases every day. Every day since I became commissioner, we receive it.
And what's the role of a commissioner in resolving or settling?
Yeah, so basically, from a preliminary standpoint, what we try to do is to curtail the situation, and be able to find solution at the community level. But in a case where it is not, in our purview to handle, we normally refer them to go to the court, and onward. Now, the issue is that we have a problem, and we need to solve that problem. The problem is that we need to have a database that will give us, some level of information on the lands that we have in Liberia, where they are, who own those lands. By that data, we will be able to stop a lot of things. One of the key issues that we have is the issue of multiple sales. Somebody will kind of sell a land to Yegazi, then they kind of sell it to everyone. The same person. In some instances, they even sell to more than 2 people. Now, there is a law that prohibits that. We need to enforce that law, the criminal conveyance law. We need to enforce the criminal conveyance law so that people who are double selling these lands can be punished. Okay? Now, there is another issue where you see some of the people that will abandon their land for 30, 40 years, including even the government. You understand? So you leave a land, 30, 40 years, you can't come. You're not raising no issue, not talking to anybody. People go to those lands, they develop those places, and they are living there. You can't want some money, you want excommunicate them for that land. That's not how we're supposed to operate. We can't continue to tread on that path. So we need to reach to a point where, first of all, we have information on the land. In some instances, we have to encourage land readjustment, where communities will get together and say, the way our place is looking, we need to even improve it so that we can have access to some things that we don't have, right? So we keep the formation of the land and be able to get spaces where go. Because some of the communities, people, all the horses cluster. They don't have park. They don't have playground for the children. Road. In an effort to create road and parks and all these things, we have to readjust the land. How can we do that? We can only do that through collaboration. Okay? Also, Chief,
what's the collaboration you're talking about?
The communities and the stakeholders, including the government, they need to agree to come together to say, in a place we live in.
That's the money.
No, they're not selling structure now. Right?
Your township is one of the
It's resource intensive, but with collaboration, it can be done. But with more support from the government, right? So we say, okay, all of us get together and readjust our land. We agree. So we get a land, right? But we have to create rules. We'll finish creating the rule, then some area there will go back. Some people there will put, and we'll go parking station.
But
then we'll also have to get reserve land. That's why we're talking about the readjustment. The government readjustment is need to be able to create that kind of thing. You understand? The readjustment is resource intensive, but with collaboration we can do it. And then we'll be able to create rural assets, we have other things, and then we'll still have land and we can do other things on. You understand? And then the other issue about people staying on some places, somebody stay on their land 50, 60 years, and they're working one day to raise issue. There is a maximum of law, or there is there is a protection for them under the law, right? They call it adverse possession. You stay away from your property, the person can't say when the person notoriously occupy your property for a certain period of time without you engaging there, you're not talking to them, they stay there 20, 30 years, the person can argue adverse possession and take their property.
You understand? One of the issues we have with people, sometimes they go to take the property and then they're not paying taxes, they're not going through the legal processes. So tomorrow, when you kind of situation, they will be able to ask some of these things and be able to claim on the property. You understand? So there are several information